So I saw a Twitter post recently that said the FBI has codified a watch list. Now, this doesn't mean that if you talked about these things online, you were automatically on this watch list. I have no idea how their watch lists work. Okay, I don't know. But this watch list says, incels might be the next terrorist group, and here are some terms and phrases that they use to watch out for. And it's fucking hilarious because it's terms that we all use all the time, like Chad, Stacy, looks maxing, etc. And it's just so funny to me that can you just picture in your mind there's this FBI agent sitting in a room somewhere and told to study these terms?
Do you think this is real?
Yes, I do. I think it actually is real. I'm not sure that the FBI has
defund the FBI. I mean, it's just like, why are they doing this? So stupid.
I'm not sure the FBI is really cataloging every single person online who says these things, but this document is real.
I mean, I think somebody was commenting on this thread. Like, do you think there's an analogous group in the FBI that's doing this for like BLM or transgender extremists?
No, and they really should. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
They really should, because those people are just as likely to become extremists, to become violent.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, do we need any more evidence than, what's happened in the last month? No, we don't.
Yep.
But it's hilarious that men who are unable to get sex, they are the next. But here's the thing. It's actually somewhat logical. Hear me out. At every point in history, men who were not able to get sex, who were not able to get mates, who were not able to reproduce, have been a massive destabilizing force. They're not a good thing, which is why we and others argue for a better society that, treats men more fairly. But since, the FBI they don't have the power to create such a society, they just identify threats. And I think it's fair for them to identify this as a threat because
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, men who are disenfranchised, they have no skin in the game. They can't reproduce. They just want to see everything burn, right?
Yeah.
And I can't even fucking blame them. What do you have? What is society offering you? Nothing. So why are you invested in the health of society? No, you're not. So these men are a threat.
It's funny how they're selectively taking the what do you call it? Like the Band-Aid solution, right? Is to try to suppress versus addressing the root cause, which is kind of the same argument they make, with criminals. They'll say, "Oh, we need to address
right." They're like, "Let's address poverty, et cetera, right?" Like, okay, fair enough, and I don't even disagree with that. Like, if nobody was poor, I agree. Yeah, probably crime rates would go down. True.
Yeah.
But in this analog, they don't seem to acknowledge that if the sexual marketplace were fairer to men who have been disenfranchised, then similarly, the threat from these disenfranchised men would go down. But they don't acknowledge that. They just want to identify these buzzwords. And what are they going to do with them? Just limit their speech, limit their ability to do what? It's futile at the end of the day, because if you've really created
a job at the FBI.
Huh?
You could get a job at the FBI. You could have been the one who wrote all these key terms.
I could have, yeah.
And the description.
I could have, true. But like any number of people online could have written these terms. This is all the common terms. If they don't want to address it, if they don't want to address the root cause, fine. But this idea that they can just suppress the speech and everything will be a-okay, no, guys. I mean, if you're fully talking about 30% of men are disenfranchised and feel that they have no skin in the game and they just want to see society burn.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
There is no amount of FBI watch list, or you can
or gun laws.
Yeah, or gun laws, or you can compile all the watch lists you want. But if 30% and growing percent of the population is fed up and dissatisfied with the status quo, it just doesn't matter what watch lists you have. It just doesn't matter. Everybody's on the watch list. So what? They're gonna burn stuff down.
I'm on the watch list.
I'm on the watch list too, even though I'm not an incel.
You're married though.
Yeah,
you're married though.
But you're not going to fix it by creating watch lists. There's only two ways in history that this has been fixed. Number one is to have enough violence in order to keep the male population down. If you have a lot of warfare, if you have a lot of violence, then, well, there's just not that many men in a population, right? Because a lot of them die doing stuff, all the stuff that societies do. And the idea that, oh, only the top X% of men get to mate. It doesn't matter because only the top X% of men even survive, right? Much past puberty, so it's fine. And the only other solution was patriarchy, was religious patriarchy, where we have to deal with the fact that we live in a modern industrialized society where most men survive. They don't die in war or conflict or whatever. So how do we keep most of the vast majority of them happy and satisfied? Well, we enforce monogamy. Hey, even if you're a lower tier man, you're going to get a woman. She's going to be lower tier, sure, but you'll still be able to, fulfill your genetic imperative. You're going to reproduce. You're going to be invested in the future of this society. It all works. Perfect. Well,
sex bots.
Modern society seems to have abandoned both, right? So we're not killing off most men in conflict or war, and nor are we guaranteeing the lower tier men anything. And we just tell them to go fuck themselves. And if they complain about it, we put them on an FBI watch list, and we call them incels, and we call them losers. And let's just see where this gets us, right? Let's just see where this goes. It's not going to go to a good place. And I don't know why. Am I one of the only people that's just smart enough to see? I can't believe that I am. I have to imagine that other people are smart enough to see where this is going, right? So what is their solution? Is there a solution to lower the testosterone levels where like tons of men want to become women?
That's an interesting,
That's an interesting theory, which some people are behind, right?
Yeah.
But they need to come up with solutions because you cannot have 30, 40% of men who are disenfranchised, who can't even get a woman. In every previous society, when you had a large group of men like this, they just fuck shit up.
Kind of ironic. I actually do think for this particular problem that it is largely not their fault.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's their fault. I think really it is just external.
Yeah, it's the online dating and the lowering of standards by Chad.
And it's so bad right now that even Chad is noticing it.